Have you ever looked at a historical mystery and thought, how is this still unsolved? Why? With all our knowledge and tools, are there questions that even the best scientists, historians, and archaeologists can't answer? From ancient civilizations whose cities vanished without a trace, to events in the modern world that defy logic, history is filled with enigmas. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most unexplained events in history. Stories that don't just baffle, they inspire. These are the puzzles that make us wonder if we truly understand the past, or if we're only scratching the surface. These 10 events were chosen based on 3 factors: the depth of mystery surrounding them, their historical or cultural impact, the enduring theories, questions, and fascination they continue to inspire. Get ready for lost colonies, advanced ancient tech, vanishing aircraft, and interstellar blasts. Let's begin with the strange and the ancient. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony, 1590. It was England's first attempt to establish a permanent colony in the New World. In 1587, over 100 settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, modern-day North Carolina, to begin a new life. But when Governor John White sailed back to England for supplies, political tensions delayed his return. When he finally made it back in 1590, the settlement was abandoned. There were no signs of a fight, no graves, no clues, except one, the word Ciarotoan carved into a tree. White took it as a sign that the colonists may have relocated to nearby Croatoan Island, now Hatteras Island. But searches turned up nothing. Theories abound. Some believe the colonists integrated with local Native American tribes, which would explain the lack of conflict. Others suspect starvation or disease forced them to abandon the colony. Some even claim Spanish forces may have attacked, or that supernatural events were involved. Despite archaeological digs and centuries of speculation, the truth behind the lost colony remains buried. Along with the settlers' fate, the Antikythera mechanism, 1st century BC. In 1901, sponge divers found something odd in a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera. A corroded bronze artifact with interlocking gears. It looked out of place. It was out of place. After decades of study, scientists discovered that this device, built more than 2,000 years ago, could predict solar eclipses, track lunar phases, and even model the motion of planets. Today, we call it the Antikythera mechanism, and it's often described as the world's first analog computer. But here's the real mystery. Nothing else like it appears in the historical record for over 1,000 years. How did ancient engineers create such a complex machine? Why was this knowledge lost? Some believe it was the work of a lone genius. Others argue it came from a hidden tradition of advanced technology in the ancient world. There are even fringe theories linking it to Atlantis or alien contact. And yet, despite modern CT scans and decades of analysis, we still don't know who made it, or how they learned to. The Nazca Lines, 500-650 AD. High above the Peruvian desert, something extraordinary appears. Sprawled across the arid plateau are massive geoglyphs, monkeys, hummingbirds. Monkeys, hummingbirds, 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 spiders. Even a man-like figure often called the astronaut. Some stretch over 1,200 feet long. But these shapes are carved so precisely and so large, they can only truly be appreciated from the sky. Which raises the first question. How did the Nazca people make them without flying? Created between 500 BCE and 500 CE, in 500 CE, the Nazca Lines were made by removing reddish rocks from the desert surface to reveal the lighter soil beneath. But why? Possible theories include religious rituals as offerings to sky gods, calendars aligned to astronomical events, water markers pointing toward underground aquifers, Others believe they were made for gods who could see from above, or even as landing strips for ancient astronauts. Today, new lines are still being discovered via satellite imaging and drone surveys, suggesting there may be thousands yet to be found. The desert keeps its secrets well. The Tunguska event, 1908. At 7:17 a.m. on June 30th, 1908, a massive explosion lit up the sky above the Tunguska River in Siberia. The blast was so powerful it flattened trees across 800 square miles, an area the size of a major city. Witnesses described a fireball brighter than the sun. Shockwaves were felt as far as England, and yet no impact crater was ever found. Scientists later concluded it was likely an asteroid or comet that exploded midair, causing an airburst. But that doesn't fully explain the strange patterns of destruction or the radiation readings later reported. Some propose exotic explanations: a mini black hole passing through Earth, an antimatter explosion, even an alien spacecraft crash, a theory inspired by local Tungus natives who claimed the sky gods had returned. In 2020, new studies simulated the airburst scenario with updated physics. Still, not all the puzzle pieces fit. Over a century later, the Earth's largest recorded explosion from space remains mysterious. The Mary Celeste 1872. A ghost ship. That's what rescuers found when they spotted the Mary Celeste adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. Her sails were partially set, her cargo untouched. There was no sign of the captain, his family, or the crew. Lifeboats were missing. Food and water were abundant. Everything was in order except the people. No storm had been reported. No pirate activity. The ship showed no damage or signs of struggle. So what happened? Theories include: a sudden sea quake or waterspout frightened the crew into abandoning ship. Fumes from leaking alcohol barrels caused panic. Mutiny, insurance fraud, or an unknown illness. Yet none of the evidence adds up completely. The ship was seaworthy when found. The navigation instruments were gone, suggesting the crew left calmly, but never returned. Even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote a fictionalized account, further blurring fact and myth. To this day, the Mary Celeste drifts through maritime lore as the ultimate seafaring riddle. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart, 1937. She was a pioneer, Earhart, 1937. She was a pioneer, a symbol of courage and progress. Amelia Earhart, the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, vanished without a trace while attempting to fly around the world. On July 2, 1937, Amelia and her navigator Fred Noonan lost radio contact somewhere over the Central Pacific. Their last known location was near Howland Island. Despite one of the largest sea and air searches in history, no wreckage was ever conclusively found. What happened? Mainstream theories suggest they crashed into the ocean and sank, but no debris was recovered. Other theories include: they crashed on nearby Nikomaroro Island, where bones and aircraft parts have been found, but none conclusively linked to Earhart. Earhart was captured by the Japanese, suspected of spying. She lived under an assumed identity after the war. Each theory has supporters and flaws. Nearly a century later, Amelia's disappearance remains aviation's most haunting mystery.
For every mystery, there's a crowd of theories, some based in fact, others in fantasy. What makes these events so compelling is the variety of interpretations they invite. Was the Antikythera mechanism the result of lost genius, or evidence of a forgotten civilization? Could the Mary Celeste crew have fled from something or someone aboard the ship? Is there real evidence of Amelia Earhart's survival on a remote island, or are we just seeing what we want to see? And the biggest question of all, how much of history do we truly understand? What if our timelines are wrong? What if our understanding of the past is shaped more by what we can't explain than what we can? Theories don't just try to answer, they force us to question.
Today, technology is helping us revisit ancient and modern mysteries with fresh eyes. Ground-penetrating radar and LiDAR have uncovered lost cities and jungles and deserts. DNA sequencing is solving cold cases and rewriting human ancestry. Deep-sea drones continue to search for Earhart's plane, while AI reconstruction is helping researchers piece together broken artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism. But not everything can be explained by tools alone. Many of these mysteries remain unsolved not due to lack of science, but due to missing context, lost records, or catastrophes that left no survivors. And some mysteries, maybe they were never meant to be solved.
Across thousands of years, from dusty deserts to stormy seas, from ancient tools to missing aviators, these mysteries remind us of something profound. We don't have all the answers, and maybe that's okay. Mystery is what drives curiosity. It fuels science, exploration, art, and storytelling. It invites us to keep asking questions. Which of these stories fascinates you most? Do you believe the Roanoke settlers survived? Do you think Amelia Earhart's plane will one day be found? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Share the video with a fellow mystery lover. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest historical riddles. Thanks for watching. And remember,
History isn't just about what we know. It's also about what we don't. Know more. Be more.